Okay, welcome back to part 2 of my Titanic live discussion. I had to stop for a little bit, try to see if I can get more people in. A little boring with just me talking, because I know I start rambling. I kind of did it in the first part, uh, but hopefully I can get more people to come in and discuss with me. Um, I'm trying to think. I also trying to think of some discussion I could do before anybody comes in, if anybody comes in. Hello! Yay! Somebody come in. Oh. So I'll take any questions about the movie, about the real event, or you guys can discuss it with me as well. Oops, sorry, got a little bit in front of the camera. Uh, So I've already answered the question about how big the Titanic was, how many people died, uh, favorite characters, favorite scenes of the movie. I've already stated who my least favorite characters were, but I will re-answer those for people just joining in if I can. Oh, he left. It's sad. My channel's not popular. This is why I'm trying to actually think of different things, though, to... Hi! I'm trying to think of different things to bring the channel back, and if this discussion goes well, I will be doing other things in the future, like 13 Reasons Why. Oh, I left again. I'll be doing things like 13 Reasons Why, like I said in the first part. I'll do Smallville. I'll do anime. I'll do I'll even do movies. Need I say it? Frozen. One of my favorite Disney movies, other than Brave and Princess and the Frog and Tangled. Those are my top favorite Disney movies at the moment. Um, actually, Wreck-It Ralph probably would be another one, especially with the second one coming out soon. Uh, I'll do that. I'll do the Hayao Miyazaki films, so anime movies that were done by Disney and Miramax, which the only one that was done by Miramax, I believe, was Princess Mononoke. I think the rest of the Miyazaki films were distributed by Disney, if I remember correctly. So, but I'll do any of those. I love Hayao Miyazaki. So, right now, Titanic. It does not seem that Titanic is a very popular subject right now, or at least among my small fan base that I have. But like I said in part one, I wanted to do it because I've been on a little bit of a kick lately, and um, so I kind of wanted to get it out of the way as a uh, first go around. The next one may be 13 Reasons Why. I'm not sure. Like I said on the first part, I do have an amino. If you got the amino app, um, it's really cool. I'm not sponsored by them in any way. I like amino. It's got a lot of different fan bases. So anything from Doctor Who to anime to uh, Titanic, of course. Which I'm in a couple of those aminos. I've got my own amino called Serenity Shadows, and that's for my YouTube channel. That's my amino for my YouTube channel, Serenity Shadows. I also have an Instagram page, which it's Serenity, I think it's Serenity underscore Dark Heart YT or underscore YT. Wow, that's pretty bad. I don't remember my own Instagram name. But I'm sure if you look up Serenity Dark Heart on Instagram, it'll come up. But I'll be posting updates on that as well for new videos. I'm just trying to get my channel alive again. I know I kept saying that I'll post weekly, especially doing like this day in history. That channel that I might go back to doing that, but it didn't really seem like it was getting that many views. I don't know, but it got hard to upload every day because of just different things going on. I got work. During the week, and on those days it's really because I work night shift, so I have to sleep during those days so I can be prepared for night shift. I know this is less of a Titanic discussion, it's just an explanation, and I'm sorry, but I'm just explaining. But yeah, so I'll probably try to go back to this day in history. If possible, I might actually just do an upload a week into the. Actually, I might do 2 uploads a week. I might do the This Week in History on one day and do live stream discussions another day during the week, if possible. That way, it'll probably get more popularity to the channel. Hopefully. Oh, sweet. I may be getting my new computer sometime this month. So, that'll be good. I can start live streaming on my computers and editing on my computer instead of on my phone, because it's kind of awkward. It'll also end up, in case I get a phone call or a text or something, it won't interrupt the broadcast. So that'll be good to actually do it on the computers. If anybody heard that. Hunger Games for the win. But that's actually another series I might do, is the Hunger Games series, if possible. For any of my, if I have any of my fans that are Christian, I'll do the Left Behind films. I'll be putting polls up on my Amino and on my Instagram on what movies I should do, or movies or TV shows I should do for that week. And I'll probably put my polls up either Sunday or Monday. That way I can get a couple of days to get a vote in. Tuesdays may be designated for my live streams, while I may do the other videos, like This Day in History or This Week in History. I'll probably do that. I'll be uploading those at night, most likely, because, like I said, a couple of days I work, and then other days I have my daughter, so that makes it difficult to record a video. So Tuesday would be basically my only free day to do a live stream, but it would get kind of weird to do a live stream on Tuesday and then do a This Week in History on Tuesday. So I may designate Thursdays as my This Week in History days, if circumstances turn out better. I may just have to end up ending this live stream if I don't get anybody else. This would kind of turn out to be a bust, and I apologize to everybody. Oh, I got a new comment on my live stream, my other live stream, and so that they can actually come and watch this. To give me a little bit of company here. I know I'm tired of rambling. Hi, Jackal! Yeah, awesome. Were you the one that just commented on my other video, or was it it wasn't somebody else? That's cool. I just pointed directly to your comment. That was pretty cool from my angle. Yes, thank you. Awesome. So I got a person to talk to now instead of rambling. Nice. So, like I said, I'm taking questions about Titanic the movie, anything about the movie, about the real life event. People can discuss it with me. I did answer a couple of questions in the first part, but since you didn't get to see the first part, I'll answer those questions again if I have to. I know it'll be a repeat, but I don't know how big into Titanic you are, actually, or if you're just watching it because of me. Okay, so you know more about the actual ship, or you basically know the plot of the movie? Because basically everything in the movie was real except for Jack and Rose's love story. That was just thrown into the midst of real life events. So it's actually funny to see how many people think Rose and Jack were real. I come across a video not too long ago about, the ship, the plot of the movie, and a few more stories. Okay. Um, yeah, I know another one. Somebody asked me like how big the Titanic was, and the other part, and I know I was saying that in the museum I go to up in Pigeon Forge, they actually have buildings vertical wise, like and the tallest building at the time was the Empire State Building, and so they stood the Titanic up vertical wise. And if I remember correctly, it was almost the exact same height or a little bit taller than the Empire State Building at the time. That's how long the Titanic was. And then if I remember correctly, it went from down the alphabet from A to F on the floor. So like E and F would be third class, C and D would be second class, and then A and B would be first class. I can't remember. I think first class had 2 floors. I might be wrong. It might have went all the way down to G. So they're A, B. So first class might have had 3 floors, while second class had 2 floors, and third class had 2 floors, 2 levels. I can't really remember, but there is a game that's coming out called Titanic Honor and Glory, and you can actually see demo walkthroughs right now on YouTube. They're in the midst of the game, they're building an exact replica of the Titanic with all the rooms intact and the grand staircase intact and all the levels intact. And you can walk throughout the whole ship. There is a story plot line that's going to be involved in the game. But they haven't developed that part yet. Right now, it's just a walkthrough of the whole ship. But you could see everything exactly the way it was on the actual ship. I've actually watched a couple of the walkthroughs on the demo, and it looks so flippin' awesome. I totally want the game, but the computers I'm gonna get are not going to be able to be up to spec to play the game, and I'm so flippin' upset. Yeah, I'm trying to remember exactly how many, like, what the percentage was for the third class passengers passing away. A lot of people think it was because of what James Cameron had depicted in the movie, that they were locked below deck. Uh, um, but that wasn't the case. That's actually come out to be a myth. The actual reason was because a lot of the steerage passengers, third class passengers, couldn't read English. And according to what has been said, the ship, because it was so big and so many floors, it was very, very easy to get lost, especially down in third class, because the corridors were so flippin' thin. It was like, if I remember correctly, it was either small enough for at least one person to walk through or two people walking side by side. But it was really, really cramped. The way they depicted it in the movie, they had to split it up or had to make it bigger so the camera and the crew and all that can get in there. But in reality, it was actually a lot more cramped. And um, even up in second class and first class accounts, the ship was easy to get lost in. So you can imagine third class passengers not being able to speak a lick of English, and that's probably all the signage they had was all in English. And if you're like a Greek passenger that can't speak English, like there was a scene depicted in the movie, I guess they were Greek, I can't remember, but they were a foreign family that was looking in a translation book trying to translate what a sign said in English, and they were having so many problems trying to figure their way up to the boat deck. And a lot of them, they just got so lost down in the corridors, and by the time a lot of them got up to the boat deck, a lot of the lifeboats were gone already. So a majority of the third class passengers did pass. I know, if I remember correctly, some were saved, but it was very few. Um, if I remember correctly, 70% of the men died. That's across all classes because, of course, the women and children rule, and the fact that they weren't filling in the lifeboats in capacity. So, I can't remember what percentage of that was third class passengers. I know, right? Yeah, like I said, if I remember correctly, 70% of the men passed away, except for some that might have been saved in the lifeboats after, or some that actually snuck into the lifeboats. Um, but of course, that was a big factor in why a lot of people weren't saved. One, not enough lifeboats. Two, we're not filling it into capacity. There was even a scene. I can't remember if it was made it into the movie or if it was a deleted scene. But they were. It was the ship's captain actually asking. It was either Light Officer Lighthauler or Officer Murdoch, and he was asking him, why aren't those lifeboats filled to capacity? Why aren't they filled to capacity? He said, you need to start filling them to capacity. Or it was actually, I think it was Andrews. It was Thomas Andrews, the builder of the ship. He was the one asking why they weren't being filled to capacity. And then there was even a deleted scene from the movie that had Captain Smith calling out to the lifeboats, come back to the ship, take on more passengers. You need to take on more passengers. And of course, one part that was depicted in the movie was Molly Brown trying to get one of the lifeboats to turn around, and the person that was in control of the ship, which I believe he was the one at the helm, sorry, the one at the wheel, was the one in charge of Molly Brown's ship. And he's like, no, we'll get sucked under. They'll swamp us. No, we're not going back. In the deleted scene, Molly Brown actually took charge. Or actually, in the original Night to Remember, which is very heavily what Titanic, the movie, is very heavily based on, because so many scenes between James Cameron in the original 1951 Night to Remember was. There's a lot of similarities between those two movies, but in the original 1951 movie, Molly Brown ended up taking control of the ship, saying, "Shut up, sit your butt down, we're going back." In James Cameron's version, she tried to talk the person into going back. She almost took charge and almost threatened to throw him over, but like I said, that scene, one of the extension of that scene was lost and deleted. Deleted scenes and stuff like that. But yeah, that was a big part of why they weren't saved, especially because, like I said in the first part, Officer Murdoch, which gets a lot of flack for being the officer that committed suicide because he ended up shooting 2 steerage passengers. They say that he should have known what to do when it comes to the iceberg. But the thing is, a lot of the officers were not up to date or whatever, what to do with the icebergs, because they'd never been in those situations before. So Murdoch, of course, Murdoch thought he was doing the right thing by telling him hard to port, turn to the left to avoid the iceberg. But that's only because him and the other officers that were on duty at the time didn't know what to do. They had never come across anything like that before. Of course, another factor was them going too fast. Can you fix that? I don't know what you were asking there. Or saying. But, yeah, they, okay, that's okay. I just like, wait, what? But, yeah, that the big factors were the fact that it was going too fast, the fact that the officers were not up to date on the procedures of dealing with icebergs in the area, and the fact that it's okay, and the fact that a lot of people, even the museum will actually say this, but a lot of people think that it didn't happen, or try to debunk the fact that it didn't happen. But there was actually a fire that was burning for a few days, even before Titanic left the dock in Southampton. And it was in one of the boiler rooms, and it was on the side that the Titanic hit the iceberg. There's even pictures that shows a black mark on the side of the ship, which they think the fire weakened that part of the ship, and that was actually where the iceberg hit. So they figured that if it hadn't been weakened by that fire, it probably would have been a lot harder to split open because of the iceberg. So they said that's another big factor. And then, of course, there's the whole, oh, it was switched for its sister ship, the Olympic, for an insurance fraud scam or something like that. Basically, that theory is that since the Olympic looked basically just like the Titanic, and the Olympic had already had an incident with a smaller ship having hit it, incidentally on the same side that the Titanic was, or hit it with the iceberg. So they say that the Olympic was going in for repairs in Belfast anyway, at the same time that the Titanic was being built. So the conspiracy theory is that they lost a lot of money due to the damages that Olympic suffered from that incident. So the conspiracy theory goes that to get the money back, they switched everything over, said that the Olympic was actually the Titanic, and they sailed it, and ended up, uh, if it ended up coming up with any problems, then they could get the money off of it. There's been theories to prove this, and there's been theories to debunk this, so it is a very, very heavily debated theory on if it actually happened or not. Um, if I remember correctly, it was steel that the hull was made of. I do believe they said the hull was made of steel. So that is a very strong possibility. Um, I can't remember how steel does in cold. I'm not that much of a scientist. Science, sadly, was actually my one of my worst subjects in school. So, if I remember correctly, steel doesn't do well in cold, but then I might be wrong. Steel, I think, is one of the strongest metallic metals, if I remember correctly. So I might be wrong in the fact that it can't deal with the cold because there's so many buildings that are made of steel now, and especially up in the north, it gets cold. A lot of those buildings in New York are made of steel. They actually can withstand the cold. So I am not completely sure about that. Like I said, I'm doing this off my phone, so sadly I can't look the information up without pausing the live stream. I wish I had my laptop. I wish I was doing this on my laptop, but my laptop's kaput. So um, I've got to do this on my phone. And also, forewarning: if I do get a phone call or something, that might end up interrupting the broadcast. But I'll start it back up afterwards. Uh, but yeah, I think the fire, the combination of the fire in the hole, the fact that, of course, the officers didn't know what to do when it came to the iceberg, the fact they were going so fast, I think all of those are factors in the sinking. Because there was also a lot of questions. Why didn't it just hit the ship or the iceberg head on? I always thought that myself. I was always one of those that thought, why did the ship just hit the iceberg head on? And I actually saw a video about a week ago that said, it's like, would it have suffered more damage, or would it still have remained afloat if it had hit it head on? And the historian and scientist in it, if I remember correctly, he said that it still would have sank. They said it still would have sank, but it would have given them a lot longer time. Because the actual Titanic, it took, with the iceberg incident, it took about a little over 2 hours for it to fully sink. So they said that if they had hit the iceberg head on, if they had hit the iceberg head on, it would have bought them at least a little bit of time. It still would have sank because of the damage, but it would have given them a little bit more time to actually get people off the ship. It probably wouldn't cause as much of a panic, is what they said. I thought that was actually pretty interesting because that was the first video or anything I'd seen addressing that question, because that was a question I had always wondered myself. But I think those were big factors. Because of the Titanic incident and the fact that the Californian had turned their telegraph things off. They actually got a fine for that, if I remember correctly. But because of that, they started mandatory 24-hour watches on the telegraph and Morse code systems to keep ships from having the SOS symbols. They had to have a 24-hour watch on all of that to keep an eye out for SOS signals. Uh, they forced them to start carrying capacity lifeboats. They started iceberg patrols in that route, the areas where icebergs are prominent. They actually started patrols through there. So now, and then of course now with the technology we've got, we can determine where the icebergs and stuff are now. Like, I'm interested because I don't know if you guys heard, there is actually a replica Titanic being built in China, if I remember correctly. The guy who's commissioning it and funding it, I don't remember what nationality he is, but he's paying and having this ship built, and it's going to be an exact replica of the Titanic. Plus, I think they're going to add a few modern things like the sonars and stuff that they didn't have back then. So it's going to be an exact replica, plus a few of the modern instruments in the bridge that they would need to detect the icebergs. But if I remember correctly, it is going to actually travel the same route that the Titanic traveled. They're actually making this ship sailable. So once it's completely built, people will be able to sail the ship, and they'll be traveling the same route that the actual Titanic took, or the previous Titanic took. And I've also heard rumors that the guy that's having the ship built is also a filmmaker, and he actually wants to do, I think, a reboot movie or something, filmed on the actual ship while it's sailing. If it's a reboot movie, I have no idea how they're going to do the sinking, especially if they're actually filming right on the ship while it's sailing the route. Because I really hope he wouldn't be stupid enough to build the ship and then sink the ship just for the movie. So I'm hoping that they'll just get the interior, exterior shots for the ship, and then later on when it docks, and they'll get the models like James Cameron did and do the sinking. I'm really hoping that that's what happens. But from what I remember, it's going to be very, very, very expensive to actually get tickets for this thing. I'm going to be putting up polls on the Amino for different shows and movies. Like, I'm going to try to do this each week, so I'll probably designate Tuesdays for my live streams. I also try to do it this day in history, although I might try to start doing this week in history. So pick a designated day for the this week in history, and then pick Tuesdays for my live streams. But there'll be a poll on the Amino, and there'll be, thank you, I really appreciate that, Mystic. That is really helpful. Thank you so much. But I will be putting up a poll on the Amino. I'll be putting up something on my, Instagram as well. Amino is a phone app. If you don't already have it, it's a phone app that has a lot of different fandoms and stuff in there, from Doctor Who to Titanic to 13 Reasons Why, through a bunch of genres. And my Amino is named Serenity Shadows. Jackal's actually a part of it, so he can tell you. But yeah, it's called Serenity Shadows, and I will be posting polls on there for future videos. So, like I said, if this one goes well, I'll be doing a lot more. It's called Serenity Shadows, is what it's called. So, that's my amino for my YouTube channel. Um, and like I said, I don't know what choices I'm gonna put up in the amino in the poll for next week, but I'll probably start posting that poll either on Saturdays or Sundays. That way, I can at least get 2 or 3 days in to get votes. And then on Tuesday, whichever one has the most votes, I'll do a discussion on that. So, I'll be making a list of other stuff that I'm going to do. I just wanted to do Titanic because I've been on a Titanic kick lately. And kind of wanted to get that out of the way as a first discussion. But I'll be doing other events. I'll be doing shows. I'll be doing movies. Heck, I could even do anime. I'll even do anime for the anime fans out there. Because I know I'm really big into anime. So, and I know I'm probably not going to get any 90s fans, but I'll even do the retro shows and stuff from the 90s and the early 2000s when those shows were actually good. I'm looking at you, Teen Titans. Go the heck away. I was a big original Teen Titans fan, so I despise Teen Titans Go. No offense to anybody that actually likes that show. But, yeah, I'll be doing other discussions, like 13 Reasons Why. I'll do Disney. I'll do Smallville. What animes? I just finished Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I have finished the original Full Metal. I've seen all of the first Naruto show. I have not seen Shippuden yet. I have seen Fruits Basket. I've seen Vampire Knight. I've seen Kenichi the Mightiest Disciple. I've watched all of Ouran High School Host Club. Yes, I love the OG Teen Titans as well, which they actually said there's a rumor that it's coming back for another season. So I am anxiously awaiting that so much. I really hope it happens. Because I know so many people that would be so flippin' happy for that. Actually, I have not seen Blue Exorcist. That is actually one anime I have not seen. My friend used to watch that like crazy, but sadly I don't keep in contact with her as much as I want to. She was like a sister to me, and she's got a lot of medical problems, so I don't get to keep up with her. I've seen Speed Grapher, which is a little bit of a darker, gorier anime. I've seen Elven Lied, or Elven Lead, however that's pronounced. I've actually tried to list out the anime in my head that I've actually seen and also actually finished. There was a show called Happy Lesson I finished, but it's been so long since I've seen that. There was one called Shuffle that I ended up seeing, but it's been so long since I've seen that. Air Gear. It's been a while. I actually used to cosplay Edward Elric from Full Metal Alchemist when I used to go to my local anime con, but I haven't had the money for that lately, and I lost my costume, sadly, because that was like a few odd years ago. But yeah, I'll be doing anime. Black Butler. Oh no, I have not seen Overlord. Yeah, that's a list. Black Butler is another I've seen. I've seen the first Black Butler, second Black Butler, and Black Butler Book of Circus. I have not seen Book of Murder or Book of the Atlantic yet. I do want to see those two anime. I don't know if those are dubbed yet. And Death Note. I've seen Death Note. I've completely seen Death Note. Yes. Oh crap! Uh, where? I was gonna see if I could. Bear with me for a moment. I am gonna move. Where did he go? I am trying to find. Ah! I don't know where he went. He got thrown somewhere. I actually have a Grell stuffy somewhere that got death through him somewhere. I have no idea where it went. But I also have an Edward Elric stuffy and Zero from Vampire Knight. See, Edward. Okay, girl, I have no idea where you went. So, I hate when you can't find something when you want to find it. Oh, wow. I even saw the original, Japanese movies. The one with the actual Japanese actors. Which I actually just saw the Full Metal Alchemist, movie as well. On Netflix. That I might be doing a review on that as well, just because even though it's live action, it's still based on anime. So I am not I have not seen the Death Note movie they have on Netflix yet, though. I am a little reserved. Sorry for all the moving around. I'm trying to reserve judgment on that movie because I've heard so many bad things about that movie. Like, it didn't depict the anime very well, among other things. So, I'm kind of wanting to watch it, but kind of not. So, but I have seen the Death Note anime. That is, like, one of my favorite anime. Besides Full Metal, Black Butler, Vampire Knight, and Oran and Fruits Basket. No, those would be my top favorites. Animes that I've seen. I was like, at first I tried to stay away from the gory stuff, but then I ended up starting to watch like Death Note and then Speed Grapher. I actually watched Speed Grapher when it would come on Sci-Fi Channel. So, yeah, I did too. That's why I'm like, I don't know. The Full Metal Alchemist movie was actually okay. They actually come back and had, I have not heard that. That's the first I've heard of that. I didn't know they were making a second Death Note movie. You would think with all the bad publicity it got, it wouldn't make a second one, but yeah, like a Full Metal Alchemist movie that's on Netflix, that was somewhat good. Some of the plot lines were crossed and different from the anime, and the fact, yes, they did get only 2 of the original voice actors to come back. They got the voice of Winry, the English voice for Winry to come back, and the English voice for Edward Mignogna. The rest of the dub sounded really cool, but then when you listen to Vic Mignogna's dub of Edward, it sounds like muffled, and like he kind of literally phoned it in, like they, I don't know. His dub just sounded so much different than everybody else's because it sounded so muffled. Oh, I have to take it back. Aaron Dismuke, who did the original Alphonse in the original Full Metal Alchemist, came back, and it was kind of weird for me to hear an older voice to Al because I'm so used to the little kid voice that they did for the original and for Brotherhood. So it was really weird to hear Al have an older voice. Vic Mignogna's dub bothered me because of the muffles, and then the plot lines. The plot lines were a little off compared to the anime, but other than that, it was pretty good. I've heard better reviews on that than Death Note. So that's why I said I'm kind of wanting to see Death Note just to say I've seen it, but on the other side, I kind of want to listen to the hype, and it's like if it's as bad as multiple people are saying, then it's like, I don't want to waste about an hour or two of crappy things and be like, because I'm such a fan of the anime, and I don't want to like start yelling at my TV like, you're wrong, you're supposed to be this, you're supposed to be that, the plot's so bad. And I was like, I don't want to get that whole mindset of, oh my god, this is so horrible, why am I watching this? It's a train wreck kind of thing. I may watch it a little bit down the road, just to say I've seen it and to go along with the Death Note discussion. If I do a Death Note discussion, that way I can say I've seen the anime, the 2 original movies. Well, there's actually 3 original Japanese movies. There was Death Note 2, and L Changed the World. I have not seen L Changed the World. I just saw the original 2 Death Note movies. But I'll probably find L Chase the World, and then I'll probably watch the Netflix one, just to say I've seen it all and have enough for the discussion. I'm just kind of dreading that. Like I said, I just finished Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Finally. Netflix used to not have every episode, and the only place I could go was Funimation. And Funimation made you pay for full episodes, so I kind of had to. BoJack Horseman, I do not, unfortunately. That's just one that doesn't do it for me, which is funny because I watch stuff like Family Guy and American Dad. I like Family Guy. I like American Dad. I kind of like the Cleveland Show. I'll kind of watch Futurama. I haven't seen all the episodes of Futurama because I kind of stayed away. I kind of stayed away from Futurama for a while, but Death likes it, so I end up watching it. Same with The Simpsons. I kind of stayed away from The Simpsons for a while, but every once in a while I'll maybe catch a episode of The Simpsons. Just like if I'm bored and don't want to watch anything else, I might put The Simpsons on. But yeah, BoJack Horseman I don't watch. I do not watch Rick and Morty. I've tried to sit down and watch Rick and Morty, and it just, to me, it's just like, it does not tickle my fancy, and it's like, I try to stay away from certain shows that just like, if I cannot stand watching the first few minutes of it. I have not seen Disenchantment yet, and thanks, Jackal. I'll see you later. Mystic, I have not seen Disenchantment yet. I want to. I've got it on my watch list on Netflix. So, I may sit down and watch that a little later on, maybe after the discussion, after I'm done with the discussion, just to get a feel for it. If I remember correctly, it's going to be turned into a series, isn't it? Because I believe it's going to be turned into a regular series. Or like a mini-series, I can't remember. But, so I'm trying to think. I know it's Matt Groening. I know Matt Groening, does it. Even my boyfriend was like, that looks like Futurama drawing animation. I was like, yeah, it's the same creator. He was like, oh, okay. It looks interesting. And is it that good? Like, compared to Simpsons and Futurama, is it that good? Because Uh, Me, I like the fractured fairy tale kind of thing, so I used to stay away from that kind of humor, but then I kind of got into it with Futurama and Family Guy and all that, so. And I know it's only been up for a short while, so I don't know if it's worth watching or anything. But I know another series I'm probably going to be doing is American Horror Story, because I've watched seasons 1 through 6. I have not gotten to see season 7 Cult yet. Or okay, so it's good compared to modern. Okay. Okay, so I may watch Disenchantment when I get a chance, just for a future discussion. Uh, See how good it is and everything. But yeah, American Horror Story is probably another one I'm gonna do. Uh, just because I've seen 1 through 6, and I'm trying to find season 7. I used to watch it on a channel or a website that I cannot even remember the name of the website. I wish I could, so I could watch it again. I think got about halfway through season 7 before my computer went kaput, and I don't have the name of that website anymore. If actually, it might be attached to my Google, so I might be able to find it again. But um, then with Apocalypse coming out, season 8, Apocalypse is coming out soon, so hopefully I'll get a chance to end up watching that. Game of Thrones might be another thing I do, because I've seen every season that has come out so far of Game of Thrones. Uh, Smallville. I like Smallville. I've seen every episode of Smallville. I might do some of the older stuff too, like MASH and Dukes of Hazzard. If I have anybody in my target audience that are interested in that. I'm probably gonna do the Hayao Miyazaki films. Yeah, I'll do GOT. I'll do Game of Thrones. Um, I was actually gonna start doing movie reviews and stuff, and season 7 was actually gonna be my breakout for movie reviews and stuff, but and I was trying to rewatch them on Spectrum TV, but my ex roommate at the time was paying for that, and then we just decided that we were having way too many problems with it, and didn't want to pay the price of the Spectrum TV for all the problems we were having, so we did away with it. So I lost my access to Game of Thrones, sadly. Uh, so I'm probably gonna find another means to recap, because I was rewatching season 1 with my boyfriend. So I might find a way to recap that. Like I said, I'll probably do the Hayao Miyazaki films, because I love Hayao Miyazaki. I wish I could do Doctor Who. I have not seen Doctor Who. My boyfriend's more than so I may rope him into doing a Doctor Who discussion. I'm trying to think of the other shows that I watch and that I might try to watch for discussion. I'll take suggestions too. On the Amino, I'll also take suggestions as well. Uh, for different shows and movies, and I'll take a watch on them to get enough info for a discussion. But I've seen a lot of genre movies too, so uh, I know Disney. Disney's my biggest thing right now. I grew up. That's just because I grew up on Disney. Yeah, I tried to sit down and watch Doctor Who, but it it just, I don't know. I started off season or Doctor. Oh, what Doctor was it? The sixth Doctor. what whichever one that was, I can't remember what season, which Doctor it was, but my ex roommate got a season of that Doctor, and um, Breaking Bad. I have not been able to watch that because I don't have cable TV, so I can't watch AMC. Same thing with Walking Dead. I have not seen Walking Dead. That would be more of my biological parents. They love Walking Dead. Um, and actually, I've kind of refused to watch Walking Dead right now because I know an extra. There's a local haunted trail around here close to where I live that they do a zombie trail every October. And one of the extras from Walking Dead that used to come back season after season after season as a zombie, they said, "We don't want you because you're too fat for the part." I that might be the one. Actually, I don't know if that's the one that I'm thinking of or not on the doctors. Uh, or something. I can't remember. Christopher Engelbert or something like that. I may be totally frigging up his screwing up his name, but I do not remember him. Why am I getting so many notifications? I like get so many flipping notifications. It's not even funny. Um, and what's I talking about? Dang it, I hate when that happens. Uh, but yeah. Walking Dead. Oh yeah, they actually fat shamed the actor because they basically said, "Oh, we don't want you to play a zombie anymore. We don't want you as an extra anymore because you got too fat for the part." So they basically fat shamed an extra, and I kind of refuse to watch The Walking Dead right now. So later on down the road I may, but right now it's just yeah, I'm kind of refusing to watch it. I'm trying to think of other shows that I actually have seen. Uh, Once Upon a Time. Like I said, I may watch Walking Dead later, but right now it's just I'm not into that. But Once Upon a Time, I've seen every season, so I may do a discussion on that if anybody is interested. Uh, I'm trying to think of the other shows. I know a lot of kids shows, but that's because I got a 4-year-old. But like I said, I might do the original OG stuff from the '90s and the 2000s, just because that was one of my biggest times growing up. I grew up in that time period and loved those shows. Absolutely loved those shows. Uh, but there's so many things that I could do discussion wise. And oh my gosh, stop giving me updates or alerts. Um, like I said, I'll be putting up polls on my Amino, and then if I can, put a poll up on my Instagram to take to have votes on what shows I'm gonna do or what movies I'm gonna do for the next week. I'll take suggestions, and if it's something that I haven't seen, I'll probably try to put that off for a couple weeks until I can actually see the series or the movie and get enough information about it to do a discussion. So, like, if. Oh. No, I actually have not watched those. Like I said, I don't have cable or anything like that, so I don't watch those. Uh, Gravity Falls is actually one that did tickle my fancy. I may watch that because of the conspiracy theory stuff about it. Steven Universe, just too much hype about it right now. Usually, if there's something that there's too much hype about, I won't watch it until the hype dies down. That way, I can make my own opinion on something. I'll probably do the Marvel movies and the DC movies as well, like Suicide Squad and Deadpool and stuff like that from DC Marvel. Um, just right off the top of my head, stuff that I just thought about. I'm a big Harley Quinn fan, so uh, I'm most likely going to be doing that. Yeah, like I said, I'll probably start watching Gravity Falls if I can find a means to watch it that's free. But because I just right now I can't watch it. I just don't have the extra money to spend for cable or anything like that. So the only means I can watch it is if it's something for free, like YouTube or something that doesn't have episodes that are messed up for copyright. Um, Kim. Oh, is that that's a website? I think I've actually heard of that website before. So I'll have to check that out. Um, through the month of October, I'll probably do. Okay, thank you for joining and thank you for subbing as well. I really appreciate it. You have a good day. Bye. And thank you for the information on the website, too. I'll check it out. Ah. So, that was interesting. Started off as a part 2 of my Titanic discussion and ended up being uh, another update discussion that actually turned out pretty well. I'm glad I got more viewers on this one. Thank you guys that ended up showing up and commenting on this one. Yeah, I know it was supposed to be a Titanic discussion, but I'm actually glad that I got to discuss more than that as well. So I got it gave me gave me a way to think, give some ideas for the future, for future discussions and stuff like that. So I thank you guys. And it's been going on for about an hour now, so I think I'm gonna cut it right here. And I will see you guys in the next video. This has been Serenity Dark Cart, and I'm seeing ya.